Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Karens. In today's episode, looks like Bicycle Karen was legit entitled to the Citi bike. Dude was the EB. Grocery store shenanigans. Scammer Karen. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Looks like Bicycle Karen was legit entitled to the Citi bike. Dude was the EB. The attorney for the white New York City hospital worker who was accused of trying to take a rental bicycle from a black man in a now viral video says that the woman paid for the bike herself and has the receipts to prove it. A receipt shared with Insider shows payment for a Citi bike on the app on the evening of May 12 in Manhattan. The bicycle was relocked to its dock a minute later with no charge logged. The Citi bike identification number in the viral video is the same as the one on the receipt, and the location matches the view seen in the video. It was her bike, lawyer Justin Marino said in an interview with Insider on Thursday. Marino said that bike was pushed back into its docking station after a young black man and his friends told the woman, a pregnant NYC Health Plus Hospital/Bellevue staffer, that the man had already paid for the same bike. She had reserved it, and then they pushed the bike back into the docking station, preventing her from taking it out again, Marino told Insider. Another receipt provided to Insider shows payment for a second Citi bike taken from the same docking station 1 minute after the first bike was relocked. That receipt also shows a 25-minute trip that Marino says was his client's ride home after the incident. It's almost like getting invested in people arguing in the street because of a poorly contextualized internet video can lead to confusion, eh? I'd be curious to see how many people who initially sent off an email to her employer later sent another one apologizing for jumping the gun and asking that she gets to keep her job. Every time I see a video that starts in the middle of an altercation, I ask what the context is. 90% of the time Reddit jumps all over me, saying it doesn't matter and that I'm obviously a racist, dog whistling, bootlicker, etc. Most of the time I enjoy this community, but man, if you dare to question any post about a Karen or racism or all cops are bad, you're toast. Another great example of people jumping onto a hate train before everything is sorted out. Shame on the vitriol people poured onto this woman. Social media's let's film and post everything online phase of society is honestly the worst. But keep doom scrolling on TikTok and then be shocked when there's more context than a 14-second clip or 3-minute video could show. Dude, they had reporters showing the video to people in her apartment complex asking about the racist Karen. I would have some lawsuits ready if I were her. Shame on media too, they race-baited this story as white woman Karen against black kids. Media and all this people are everything what's wrong with society today. Yeah, like a pregnant nurse would take on 5 young black men. This is a disturbing trend starting to happen, where they start the video late and try to show the other person as the baddie. All to get some internet points. Scary sad. I've noticed now that anytime a middle-aged woman asserts herself, she's now automatically a Karen whether or not she was justified. The phrase has lost its original meaning. I feel like a creep for believing the video. This was a good reminder that anything can be twisted with enough effort. The guy needs to be found. There has to be a crime in there somewhere. The only twisting here is the mental gymnastics it would take to believe a pregnant woman would take on 5 young men all by herself, wrestling the bike away from them to sit on it and claim it was hers. I'ma be honest with you, instead of a creep you should feel like an idiot. The video was edited to hell. I always thought the general rule of thumb was to never believe a video halfway through anymore, but then the Citi bike video came out. Is there any chance the dude legitimately thought the bike was his as well? I feel like the two of them could have compared receipts and hashed it out instead of this outcome. No, there isn't. You have to scan the code on the bike to unlock it. She wouldn't have gotten it unlocked, out and be sitting on it unless she somehow ran in and pushed him out of the way after he did. Which isn't a thing. People who jump on the bandwagon for doxing and destruction by the court of public opinion without facts and context are the same people who would have burned witches because they thought an old lady down the road killed their crops by magic. I really hope that she sues the hospital who suspended her without knowing all the facts, the TikToker by the Athat Daneshki who doxed her and her husband, and Tariq Nasht who straight up called her a white supremacist. I hope all these assholes get sued. Grocery store shenanigans. I was shopping groceries and have 2 under 2. 3 mo's 19 mo's roughly. I found the easiest way is to load the 3 mo, keeping the 19 mo in the cart while we offload so he can push the button to close the trunk after and just keep him happy and out of his car seat for a bit. Once the trunk is loaded, I pop him into his seat. I then run the cart to the corral and load myself in. Of course this scenario changes for weather. Raining, they both in ASAP, sunny, windows down and car started with AC and hot to cool the car while I'm loading, etc. You get the idea. Well, today I was nearly assaulted by a stranger screaming, blood-curdling screaming. I was so shocked that I was at the cart corral and reaching for my mace thinking someone was being assaulted or taken. Little did I expect to find the noise being directed at me, much less to find someone charging forward toward me and causing a massive scene by saying I was abusing my children and trying to **** them by locking them in the car. Sure, dependent on whether the car may not be on, and even if it is, I'm not more than 5 parking spots away with the keys and door locked. Info, my car cannot be driven more than 50 yards without key detect. Also, they aren't in the car for longer than 2 minutes alone. Really? 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 This is what we're yelling at. So, after multiple people start following this lady and they are charging at me, talks of police and breaking the windows, and other things were reaching me. Once I explained I was simply putting the cart away, and even had other people say I hadn't been out of the store for more than 10 minutes at this time as they were behind me themselves, did people start dispersing. I was paralyzed in fear and now I am just pissed off. The accusation and assault of character and am ashamed and guilty for not having done more to protect myself and children. I kept the car locked and ready to run rather than get in. Like WTF? Advice? How do y'all load your kids? Aita? The only thing you did here is act in a normal way, you have done nothing wrong. This Karen acted this way because she just wanted the attention and was willing to say something about your innocent, normal behavior to get it. After you explained thing to the crowd, they understood you did nothing wrong. Unfortunately, in this day and age, some people will act in this manner to garner attention. I wish I had a solution for you, but a Karen isn't happy unless all eyes are on them and they can bring misery to make others just as unhappy miserable as they are. Don't change your routine for one random stranger with a cray streak. You really should test you pepper spray, just repeat these words a lot when if the cops get there I felt threatened, she was screaming and acting crazy when you get new spray. I always park as close as possible to the cart corral, get my kids in, 2 and 4, load the groceries up, and put the cart up. Basically everything you described. If the weather is good, I let them climb on the back hatch and go get to their seats that way. I will even leave my children in the car and run into the gas station to get a drink. Now, I only have one key to my van, and it isn't a push button, so the key has to be in the ignition to run. I won't do this in summer since I can't leave the AC on in that scenario, just have to stick to drive-thrus then. But if it's under 80 degrees, I will crack the windows and run in real quick. I'm actually really sad it's getting too hot to do that. I have 3 kids, I have plenty of experience with loading them. And you know what? I do exactly what you do. My kids are older, 11, 9, and 4. But I load them in the car when I unpack groceries, close door, park cart, then go back to car. It's the most common sense thing. Unfortunately, that Karen was just looking to cause a problem. They are a shitty human being. You are a good parent. Don't forget that. That's why I never put my cart back when my kids were small. You can't not be TA, so you may as well be safe. Don't change your routine because one Karen has Crusader syndrome. She went after you to feel big and act tough. She would never jump in and act like that if it was a few gang members having a fight. Scammer Karen. I work for a retail giant in their online sales department. We get major scammers. Mainly it's third-party vendors from third-world countries who try to pretend they're the customer and try to get a discount because they're missing an item from their order. It's easy to pick them out due to thick accents that are obviously reading from a script. Some are a bit more difficult to pin down. In comes Karen. Karen calls because she ordered a case of caulk and only got 1 tube instead of the 12 she ordered. I'm looking over her order and I noticed the case she's supposed to get weighs 10 pounds and has certain dimensions. I check with FedEx, see the picture of where they delivered, and saw the weight of the package. 10.4 pounds. Check the dimensions, and sure enough, a big enough box to house the case she claims to have not gotten. I explained to her that FedEx put the weight at 10.4 pounds and I start to hear they're liars. I'm not paying $80 for 1 tube of caulk. We never call people liars, even when we catch them dead to rights, but we also don't take abuse either. You curse twice, we can very much hang up on you. I told her, as if she were a victim of porch piracy, to dispute the charge with her bank. She really flew off the handle screeching about her bank wouldn't do anything. I explained that the bank would give her money back and investigate what had happened. She took it up a notch screaming that they wouldn't and it's not fraud. Yes it was, LOL. I was done. Okay ma'am, I guess I can't help you, have a good night, click. Had to notate her account that she was a scammer and she'll be lucky if she can ever order from us again. She will certainly have to go to the store from this point forward to ever make a return again. Word to the scammers/Karens, we know who you are and what you're trying to do. We keep notes on every time you ever call, and to your face, most of us will be just as sweet as pie, but behind the scenes, we are keeping tabs. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.